Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Self-Improvement Project. I hope you are all well. We are getting ever closer to Christmas now, so I hope you are all excited for spending time with family, friends, and probably having a wee bit of well-deserved time off. So this week's episode is called Life at 80, and this episode is all about perspective. Looking through a wide lens of our entire life, yet finishing by looking at every action that we take day to day. This perspective links really nicely to your values because it can really help you gain clarity on your values, your beliefs, and what really matters to you and what always will. So, to set the scene, imagine where you are right now. You might be in your late teens, you might be in your mid-20s, you might be further on into your career, your 30s, your 40s, blah de blah. But let's pause for a second. Let's fast forward to 80 years old. We might not have much energy. We know we don't maybe have that much time beyond 80, but day to day we have quite a lot of time. And money wise, you're probably going to be alright. But sitting there at 80 years old, are you happy with how your life's gone? Now, the reason I'm wanting to do this is not to spook you, not to scare you, but to make you realize what's important to you. What you may be doing day in, day out does not serve this. I've been there. I've worked jobs, spent hundreds of hours doing things that maybe don't align with that when I'm 80. And I look back and I think, is that what I really wanted to do? On the flip side, make sure you take it with a pinch of salt in the sense of that has served you. You have learned something from that experience. It helped you gain more clarity about what you wanted, because at certain stages of life, a lot of us don't really know what we want, and that's okay. But my overall point and perspective to give you today is when we are at that age and we can't change much of what's gone on in our life anymore, are we happy with it? Are we at peace with it? Now, I've been reading a lot recently around the importance of or how important the value of time is. To give you insight, imagine time was the currency that ran the world instead of money. If you were older, what would you do to buy time if you could? And vice versa, if you were young, would you sell the time that you have? And a point in that being, do we value the time, or do we value time as much as we should when we are young? Arguably not. And on the flip side, do we regret that when we are older? I guess the most important question I would love for you to ask yourself today is, imagine you are sitting down at 80 years old and ask yourself the most important question at this stage. Did I spend my time wisely? That is the question that should fuel you today, tomorrow, and every other day. There's nothing you can do about the past. There's some things you can do about the future, but today is when you can take action. This question helps me fuel this podcast. I want to be sitting at 80 years old knowing I did a podcast every week about what I'm passionate about and that I love and I am curious about. Questions such as, are you fulfilling your purpose? Are you spending enough quality time with your friends and with your family? Are you looking after your health, your diet, your exercise regime? These are questions that day to day you can ask yourself that will help you understand and see if you spend your time wisely. And these big questions are for a reason. They have the biggest impact on your life. As individuals, we can control these questions. Others will help us. Others will give us their insight. And we need to formulate that to allow us to build our own fulfilling life. And that's ultimately where we want to be. So I want to leave you with that today, that thought of when you are 80 years old. Are you happy with how you spent your life? Did you complete the things you wanted to complete? Have you left the legacy that you want to leave? And that's it. Maybe short but sweet, but asking the big questions for you as usual. If you've enjoyed today, please share it with a close one, a friend, a family, someone you think would benefit from listening to this, and ultimately allow them to improve themselves and become a better version of themselves. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.